Hey everyone. From what I'm seeing out of Rivian, 2024 is shaping to be a really good year for the innovative electric vehicle company. So let's take a look in this brief video for why I think that's the case. Starting with Rivian's CFO saying that we continue to have a really robust backlog of pre-orders that extends into 2024. So they've already got orders and sales that go well into 2024. Additionally, we've seen really a stable environment throughout the course of this year from a demand vantage point. So if orders continue the way they have been for Rivian throughout the rest of this year, they could have enough orders to fulfill all of their 2024 capacity. Remember, they have a capacity for 150,000 units. Now, they might not fulfill all of that in terms of production, but if they choose to produce, let's say, 80,000 units in 2024, they may have sales to match all of that production. Remember, in 2023, they plan to produce 50,000 vehicles. So going from 50,000 to say 80, 90, or 100,000 looks to be a real possibility for Rivian between 2023 and 2024. So right now the R1T pickup is available for delivery in 14 days or less. However, the R1S SUV new orders wouldn't be delivered until 2024. 2024. That means customers that are ordering the R1S SUV from Rivian have to wait until 2024. That means there's a huge backlog there for their SUV, which seems to be the most popular product, and it's also more expensive than the pickup truck, right? The SUV is starting at $80,000 and it can run customers much higher than that. So, right, about 70% of their pre orders have been for the SUV, and we want to make sure we're in a position to really start to work through more of that R1S backlog and have our production replicate demand that we've seen. So, if customer orders continues for that R1S, and this persists throughout 2023, then when Rivian is making plans for 2024, that production goal can be much, much higher. Remember, 50,000 this year, and they've already got manufacturing capacity for 150,000 max. So that's their maximum output with the current manufacturing capacity. So if things go really well and supply chains work together with customer orders, they could potentially produce 150,000 cars in a year. Right now, the headwind has been mostly from the supply chain, but now Rivian has the new Enduro Drive unit that's allowing the company to really ramp up production starting really the second half of this year, Q3 and Q4. So that supply chain side of things is going to ease up, which leaves the customer demand side of the picture. And from what we're hearing from Rivian saying that, hey, we've got orders all the way back to 2024, it looks like the customer order side of the picture is looking really good too. So if both of these things work together, man, 2024 is looking like it could be a really good year for Rivian. So they're still in the process of working through the backlog of orders that were placed before March of 2022. So that must have been, a lot of orders if they're still not fulfilling all of that. What you'll continue to see over the course of this year into next year is the feathering in of some of the new orders that were placed after March of 2022. In greater detail, you can see that in 2022, about 20% of their revenue was from the electric delivery van in that deal with Amazon. And we expect that to be true in terms of the mix for 2023 also. So again, about 20% of the mix as a whole. And then we'll expand the installed capacity for the R1 line from 65,000 units to 85,000 units. So we'll sort of dual purpose in that 2024 timeframe. So for 2023, it's still going to be the same, but 2024, they're planning to shift that mix over to producing more of their consumer vehicles, more of the R1 line, the R1S and the R1T, and I would assume more of the R1S because that's the one they've got greater demand for. That's the one that customer orders have a real backlog for. And here's something that is not yet incorporated into these outlooks for Rivian is what if they get through this backlog and they really ramp up production and customers who go to the website, instead of seeing that they need to wait until 6 months later to get this SUV, what if they can, get the SUV in 2 weeks? Would that be another boost to customer demand if they feel they can get the car sooner rather than waiting in 6 months? I think so. I think it's hard to win over customers if you're asking them to wait 6 months to receive the car. If you tell them you can get that car in 2 weeks, maybe you get a lot more customer orders. I don't know. I know I would prefer to buy a car if I knew I could get it in a couple of weeks instead of waiting 6 months. And I'm sure there's other customers out there like me who would prefer to get the car sooner rather than later. So the way it's working out, it looks like 2024 is shaping up to be a really good year for Rivian. So that's something that Rivian stock investors have to look forward to. But that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.